David, it's going to be Abdominal Wall Reconstruction Europe number 5.
Yeah.
Why is it important to attend in 2020?
Al, I think it's really essential for anyone who has an interest in good combined multidisciplinary practice of the abdominal wall that they attend this meeting. I think it represents probably the best international meeting and forum for discussion of the whole span of both complex and relatively straightforward abdominal wall problems. And at the heart lies the appreciation of core principles of good surgical practice and the importance of reaching out to colleagues and working as teams and developing a team ethos.
Yeah, and I agree, and I think that we've also, once again, fortunately, managed to gather together a really, truly international faculty, and hopefully have designed our programme around that faculty and around what is new, what's innovative, and what is important for people to learn and to come and discuss.
Yeah, the fact is that we've managed to bring together people who are absolute novices, absolute enthusiasts, and everyone's left the meeting having felt that they've had part ownership, but also that they've learned an enormous amount from the meeting as well. Are there any other core themes that you think we're going to be bringing out this year?
I think the big thing that comes out of the programme amongst our sort of usual core themes, very much the multidisciplinary approach, the MDT team. This is wider than just the surgeons. We need prehabilitation, rehabilitation, management of complications, radiology, a lot of new stuff about the anatomy, even looking at the transverse abdominis and one or two things like that. I think we're going to extend the surgical discussions to look at minimal access and really look at the robot that's coming.
Yep.
And certainly from our US colleagues, a lot of work coming out of that. That'll be very interesting. And I guess looking as well at complications, at managing things like the open abdomen, managing things like abdominal compartment syndrome, which we've touched on before, but we're going to bring that. And then I think another hugely important bit is safety. What about mesh? And it's really very important. Now, coming off the back of the US, we're going to see an awful lot more about how we should be discussing with our patients appropriate consent for the use of mesh, and when should we, and perhaps when shouldn't we be using mesh. So I think there's some really interesting themes there.
And I think the fact that we're developing that both in terms of further scrutinising mesh selection, but also reflecting on the legal implications of the mesh that we're using, which we've obviously learnt from implants in plastic surgery, and this is extended across so many other spheres of general surgical and gynecological practice, the importance of really scrutinising what we're offering to our patients and why.
So we've talked a little bit about the meeting this time and how things have evolved a little bit, what our themes are going to be, but what's the USP? What's special about abdominal wall reconstruction? As I say, in its 5th year now, what makes that meeting special, do you think?
I think this meeting is special on so many levels. I think on the first instance, we've tried to stick to the core themes of making sure that it's inclusive. We want it to appeal to trainees and super specialists alike. Secondly, we've tried to ensure that we start with the basics and we reaffirm some of the key basics of safe surgical practice, minimising risk, identifying risk, the principles of surgical closure, which are so important to reaffirm each year, and how they've evolved. And secondly, I think the meeting has always been forward-thinking in its inclusivity. We want people to contribute from a variety of backgrounds, whether they happen to be general surgical or plastic surgical, or indeed in other fields. When I look back on the last 5 meetings, what I've learned from colleagues both here, from some of the amazing surgical talks that we've had from the States, from Latin America and elsewhere, they've been hugely stimulating and wonderful to be part of.
Looking forward to it.